and welcome to another edition of the Spike Ridgley Show. I'm your host, Jeff Higgins. Joining me is the manager of the Massillon Tiger baseball team, Spike Ridgley. We want to thank our season-long sponsors, Ryan Prosser and D-Hall Realtors. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Since last week's show, the Tigers went 2-2 and are currently sitting with a 7-5 record. Let's talk first about last Wednesday's game at home against the Lions. Your Tigers won that game 12-2. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, that game, what stood out in that game for us was our plate discipline was very good. They had a pretty good pitcher going for them, and he had a little bit of trouble in the first inning, and we were able to essentially not help him out of it, and we were willing to take some walks there. I think we sprinkled in a hit or two in there to kind of set the tone for the game. That was kind of the biggest thing that we took away from that one.
Then last Friday, your team lost to McKinley 3-1. Sounds like a tight game, right?
Yeah, that was a tough one. Anytime you're not able to get the win in that situation, that's one that we want badly each time. So we split with them this year. But we played well. We got a really good pitching performance from Zach Seifert. We just weren't able to hit enough that night.
Then this past Saturday, the Tigers lost at home to Green 4-3. Tell us more about that one.
Yeah, two tough ones in a row. That one was, we were able to played really well. We were able to take a lead in the sixth inning, so we needed 3 outs to close the deal on that game. We got the first out of the seventh, and then they put a few hits together, and we weren't able to hold it down. So learning as we go here, but that one hurt. Those back-to-back days, I don't know if we had a tougher 2 back-to-back days than the Friday, Saturday last week.
And finally, this past Monday, your team shut out Canton South 6-0. Sounds like a good night for pitching and the bats.
Yeah, Heath Manson threw really well for us. I think he had 6 or 7 strikeouts. He only had 2 walks, and he went 6 1/3. That was an outstanding performance for us. We've put a few of those together lately. Our goal is, I've said before in previous shows, we're trying to get 60% strikes, and we're starting to do that. So you're starting to see the scores change a little bit. They're a little bit closer. And when we can hit that sort of goal for us, we have a chance to win each time. And that really stood out in that game for us.
We'll talk more with Coach, and we'll meet with the Tiger play in a few moments. But first, this word from Ryan Prosser and D-Hall Realtors.
Hi, I'm Ryan Prosser with D-Hall Realtors, specializing in lifestyles, not just homes. Finding a realtor who understands the ins and outs of a home while also taking the time to listen to your wants and needs is important. With over 20 years experience in home remodeling, I have the knowledge to help you buy or sell a home with confidence.
Choose my daddy to be your realtor.
Thanks to Ryan Prosser and D-Hall Realtors. Welcome back to the Spike Ridgley Show. The Tiger player joining us this week is junior Amar Eid Al-Khair. Amar, how old were you when you started playing baseball, and who introduced you to the game?
My father introduced me to the game, and I started playing when I was about 6 years old, 7.
How would you describe your role in this year's team?
My role? I wouldn't say I have a set role in the team. I just like to help my teammates out in any way just to get the win.
In your opinion, what kind of skills does it take to be a successful third baseman?
Say you have to have a strong arm, a real strong arm.
And did you set any personal goals for yourself before the start of the season?
Just to come back from last year with my shoulder injury, just play a little better.
The team is off to a 7-5 start after Monday night's win over Canton South. How do you feel about your team season so far?
So far, I'll say it's pretty good. We have a lot of, more steps to go, but I feel like in the future we'll be fine.
Thanks, Amar. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Coach, tell us more about Amar and his contributions to the team both on and off the field.
Lamar made mention, of it right there a minute ago. We're happy to be able to have him on the field. He's been our DH the last 2 years because he's working through that shoulder thing, and it looks to me that he's all the way back. I mean, he talked about having a strong arm. He certainly has that at third base for us. And the nice thing that we can do with him is we lead him off because he can, he'll give you a good at bat. He's not afraid to take a walk, but he can hit the ball too, and he can play multiple positions. So, as we progress through the season, he could see some time at shortstop, second, center field, and maybe even first base. But we kind of got him locked into third base right now, and he's been doing a nice job for us.
Your Tigers have a home-and-home matchup with Louisville starting tonight. Tell us more about the Leopards.
It'll be a great challenge. The last I checked, I checked the box scores like everybody else, the paper the next morning. They were 10-3. They've got some good quality wins in that mix. And we've played them since I've been here, the last 3 years. And they've got a very veteran-laden group. They're going to be very similar to what we had last year as far as that senior mixture. So we're excited for it because we know we're going to need to play well. And we get that challenge back-to-back days. So it's neat because we're an independent. So we get to have that league feel this week because teams that are in a league will play back-to-back days with the same team. So we're really looking forward to the opportunity.
This Saturday, you're scheduled to play at Canton South. Since you just beat them earlier this week, will you have to guard against your team maybe taking a win for granted?
I don't know. These guys are, they're going to go about their business, I would hope, like they normally would. I mean, we do play teams twice. It's something that's pretty normal in baseball. Certainly you want to win the first one like we did, but now the challenge is, you want to win both games. So I don't know that we'll talk too much about that. It'll be more about us going through our pregame routine like we normally do. It'll likely be a different pitcher, which makes the whole scenario different. It won't be the same thing as it was on Monday. And you got to be ready to go because I'm sure that they were not happy with the outcome, and we want to make sure that we give ourselves the best chance to be happy with the outcome again on Saturday.
Then next Tuesday, April 23rd, the Tigers play at Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's. How about a scouting report on the Irish?
Yeah, St. V's, he does a nice job, their head coach. He's a guy that he appears to approach it a lot how we do with practice. And his preparation. So lots of respect for them and their team. I think those guys are a little bit more veteran this year than they were last year. But they're always good. I mean, they're very fundamentally sound, and they're a team that's they're always there in the districts. It seems like every year. So again, it's another great challenge for us and a chance for us to get better.
We're getting closer and closer to the upcoming tournament. When will the seedings and schedule for our area teams be announced?
Yeah, this year is the first year. It's a little different this year. The season was extended by a week this year for the first time. I think it's funny because I think they were doing that to try to alleviate some of the weather problems you can have this time of year. And I was talking to Dave Sheets a little bit earlier today, and we were talking about how this is the first year that I can remember in forever where we haven't been canceled at all. I probably shouldn't say that on the air because we'll probably get canceled 3 times next week. But no, it's moved back a week, so everything will shift back a week. We used to do the tournament draw, I think it was the last week of April going into May, so it'll be back 1 week. For this year, and then they've also done something different this year, if I'm not mistaken. You play, it's like a Tuesday then a Thursday. It used to be back-to-back days. So there's some changes in there this year, but we're looking forward to having that extra week of game preparations before we go out and play in a tournament.
Thanks, Coach. As we wrap up this edition of the Spike Ridgley Show, we want to thank Ryan Prosser and D-Hall Realtor for sponsoring our show. And thanks to Coach Ridgley and Junior Amar Yidal-Kaya for joining us on this week's show. I'm your host, Jeff Higgins, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our Career Technical Education Department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their Career Technical Student Organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.